Eddie Sanchez, y'all. Eddie Sanchez. Police with the black bag in his trunk. All the extra weapons.
They ain't make no damn sense. It ain't gonna happen like that.
Officer Eddie Sanchez. That's who killed Garland Carter. He's still a police officer somewhere. That's how they do it. Hey, Cap.
Yeah, we know y'all undercover cops out here. Y'all undercover killers. We know y'all out here.
I ain't got to point no finger, no elbow.
Look who I found.
No, bro.
What's that sound?
You on live?
Yeah.
You my mama friend?
You're SCL.
You my mama friend on her?
Is she on there?
I said she on her?
Probably.
Hey, mama. Look.
Michelle for bail. Michelle.
We got to fight back. We got to fight back. We can't hear you.
Fight back. You got to fight back.
Michelle for bail.
You got to fight back. Fight back. You got to fight back. 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 Fight back.
A pretty good distance in letting these marchers do their thing. Here, but this would be the end.
All street! All street! All street! All street! it down. If we can't get it, shut it down. If we can't get it, shut it down. Whole street, our street. Whole street, our street. Whole street, our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street. Our street.
What? Motivation. Dedication. And stand up and fight back. Motivation. Dedication. Squad. And stand up and fight back. Motivation. Dedication. I know. Squad. And stand up and fight back. Motivation. Y'all sound dead.
Whole street, our streets. Whole street, our streets. Whole street, our streets.
They think it's a game.
Our street. Whole street, our street. Whole street, our street. Whole street, our street. Circle out, circle out, circle out.
Be careful.
Our street. Our street.
Be careful.
Our street. Our street.
They think it's a game. 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 It ain't no game. It ain't no game. It ain't no game. It ain't no game. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. No justice. No profit. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. Whole street. They think it's a game. 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 It ain't no game. It ain't no game. It ain't no game. It ain't no game. They better get hip. I swear. They better get hip. Hey, shoot. I ain't trying to carry nothing. Whole street. Who motherfucking streets? Our motherfucking streets.
Do no justice, no profit.
I'm high.
You ain't gonna get that.
Okay.
Just do no justice, no
Oh.
profit.
No justice. No profit. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Criminal justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Criminal justice. No justice. No justice.
They think it's
Come on. They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
It ain't no game.
It ain't no 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 joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
It ain't no game.
It ain't no 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 joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
No justice.
No profit.
No justice.
No profits.
No justice.
No profits.
No justice.
No profits.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our
Let them know whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
No, whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our streets.
Whole streets.
Our
Ain't
streets.
no whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Whole street.
Our streets.
Who shut stuff down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut stuff down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut stuff down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut them down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut it down?
We shut it 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 down.
We shut it what?
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 We shut it down.
Who shut it down?
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 We shut it down.
Who shut it what?
We shut it down.
We shut it what?
We shut it down.
We shut it what?
We shut it down.
We shut it what? I said, hey, these killer cops, they got to go.
Them to tighten up. Mic check.
Tighten up.
Say mic check. That shit's dangerous.
Look. They thought they were going to stop us back there. Say, stop. My throat hurt. I can't do no more. Don't stop. Tell them don't stop. Keep going. Don't stop. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. We should have kept going. Everybody come to the right. Come to the right. Come over to the right. Come over to the right. They got guns and stuff.
Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here.
I don't see no riot here. I don't see no riot here. I don't see that stuff.
Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot.
I need some goggles.
Riot gear. We don't see no
What's up with these guns?
riot gear. We don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? We don't see no riot here.
City police, they in the wrong spot. They supposed to be in the city.
Riot gear.
I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here.
Why are you in riot gear? We don't see no riot here.
Everybody get their phone out and record just in case.
Come on, bro.
Everybody hurry up and get to the other side. Hurry up and get to the other side and tighten up.
Why y'all got guns and stuff? We have the right to We have a right to freedom of speech. Why do y'all have this riot?
Peaceful protest.
We came through that. We should have kept going.
Justice. We can't.
Justice. Now.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Right, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Hold up. Everybody needs to pay attention to their surroundings and tighten up.
Why are we stopping?
Everybody needs to tighten up.
I'm finna go. We need to go through.
Tighten up and pay attention.
Let's get the unite, convict, send that killer cops to jail.
Y'all gonna get a fat paycheck. side be the first society. We done tried it all. Everybody, y'all, you pay today. Everybody, guilty as hell.
The whole damn system.
It's guilty as hell.
The whole damn system. It's guilty as hell.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, we can go through. It's more than nothing them. See that bullhorn? Yeah, look at your insurance. What are you?
They turning around, but they supposed to be out here doing something. White
We have a right to peacefully protest. You are breaking the law. Sailor County is breaking the law.
We pay taxes. We're on the same street.
Are we free to go?
Being up front.
Tell us why.
Y'all gonna learn today.
If not, y'all
Ain't be no money spent today, but y'all gonna get paid. We have the right to peacefully protest. We are on the sidewalk. We are on the sidewalk.
Just as long as y'all don't touch me, we will be fine. You don't touch me, I don't touch you. Because I'm afraid for my life just like you will.
So now, peacefully protesting is against the law.
Yeah, right. Since when that
Not
started?
only are y'all killing us, but y'all are not allowing us.
Rosamano got his tear gas for these people protesting, y'all.
Missy.
He got his gas.
Miss. No, Steph said we're going that way.
You finna go.
How are you to be a savior?
And then we're gonna go that way.
How do you sleep at night?
And you a black brother. How do you feel about them killing us?
Y'all stopping us.
How do you feel about them
I don't talk.
And you a brother?
Oh, y'all. We ain't scared of y'all. We ready. We ready. We ready. There's a whole new generation here. That old method of policing that y'all been doing, that's over with. Y'all need to get it right. Y'all need to get it right.
We're gonna shut it down.
Who street? 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 No justice. No racist. No justice. No racist. Who street? Who street? Who street? Who street? Look, they called everybody. They called everybody for these peaceful protesters. They called everybody for these peaceful protesters. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? No looting? There's no looting here. How do you explain this?
I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear? I don't see no riot here. Why are you in riot gear?
Share it, y'all. Share it. Share it. Share it. Tag somebody in. Ain't no telling what might happen here. St. Louis County got a history.
Yeah. Y'all see them coming? Look at them. They can't wait to bust somebody in. That's the problem now.
Back up. We want freedom. Y'all got guns on this shit. Ain't nobody out here.
They can't wait. They can't wait. It's hunting season. It's hunting season. Most of them are hunters. They ain't got nothing to do. They ain't got nothing to hunt. They ain't got nothing to hunt, so they pick us.
Yeah, they won't pay for that overtime with us.
Let's go! Let's go! Issues, come on! Can y'all get off here?
They won't put that bill with us. Ain't that right, Star? Y'all trying to put... Yeah? Y'all better stop eating all them donuts. It's gonna be a long year.
The rest of the year, y'all gonna get paid good. Y'all have a good trip. So y'all gonna flip the state. We gonna make sure y'all...
Sides of the street off of Brentwood, St. Louis.
Y'all, we gonna break y'all.
Are you all in Riot Gear at the moment?
Paychecks gonna start bouncing. Not yours, this shit. We know you gonna get yours. We know you gonna get your money.
St. Louis Galleria. At the corner of Antler and Brentwood Road.
Hey, where y'all going? Hey!
This is what St. Louis County and the state of Missouri spend their taxpayers' money on. They're having legal. Hey, tell them to come back. We need them back.
So as y'all can see, Galleria Mall in St. Louis is shut down. We're on Brentwood, I-64, St. Louis County. As y'all can see, it's a large police presence. You can see him in the background, they're still coming. They are in riot gear on both sides, trying to block everybody in, trying to block the protesters in.
Looking like we got a standoff. St. Louis County and state troopers ain't got nothing else to do. We got homicides
keep my distance, kind of back away a little bit.
Messing with peaceful protesters. Imagine that. And they want to raise. No, but doing nothing. They got to raise. I want that job, but doing nothing. I want that job. Where do I sign up? Where I ain't got to do nothing and get a raise. Look at all these police. They must have deployed every police in the state.
Well, you're sick and tired. Sick of these tired of these herds of pigs. And they roll out. And they unleash. Now you got Donald Trump and a Mike Pence. Fascist regime in the White House.
You lied too?
Pigs are the warrant on it.
Lied.
Just the other night, they started saying,
Hey family, let's go. Let's go, y'all still something to do. We leaving. Peaceful protesters are leaving now.
What's up, baby? Good. Yep.
We gonna make y'all earn that raise though.
Oh, so we don't see them coming.
They got like four buses down there.
guilty as hell.
What's up, y'all? Share this video. Y'all know they want to use them nightsticks. They're gonna use them sooner or later. St. Louis City,
You watching
St.
right
Louis
now?
County.
No, I'm talking about
Everybody here. We ain't scared though. We've been gassed before. And our heads been busted. If you're watching this, you need to be on your way out here. Y'all need to be on y'all way.
Great.
They think it's a game. They think it's a game. Boom Street. Boom Street. Boom Street. Boom Street. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like.
What's up with you now?
This is what community looks like. What democracy looks like. No profit. This is what democracy. No profits. No profits. They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
They think it's a game.
They think it's a joke.
No profit.
No profit. No profit. No profit. What's up, Missy?
We don't have no little mask.
We don't see no riot here. 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 They were backed up. We don't see no riot here. We already did. We don't see no riot here. We don't see no riot here. We don't see no riot here. If we don't show strength, they pick off the strong from among us, and they do whatever they want to do for us. Our streets. They think it's a joke.
I had to go off on Rosamano. You ain't got no jurisdiction here.
They think it's a joke.
He ain't got no arrest.
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our
You gotta get inside the stove.
Our streets. Our streets.
You gotta get inside the stove.
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
You gotta get inside the stove.
Our streets.
What is it?
They think it's a joke. They think it's a joke. They think it's a joke. Our streets. Our streets.
Everybody cross the street. Hurry up and cross the street.
Wait! Shut down the highway? Yeah. I'm gonna show you where you shut it down at. Right up the street we just came from. Right up the street we just came from shuts down the highway.
Black shorts. You did? Tighten up! Tighten up! Tighten it up! They don't want these problems.
We've got water in the car.
Yeah, we gotta be more strategic. Sucker! Y'all want to lose some weight? First time I walked through a drive-through.
Sunset in 20 minutes.
Tony! What's up, bro?
My police brother, he said, we gonna walk us to a scrap right now. They gave him orders. They just gave orders to make it. You know, Bilal.
Bilal, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was hurt.
We need to tighten up.
What I say? They just got this is crazy.
We got final to the left and first to the right.
Alright, so as y'all can see, they're saying this is unlawful. They getting ready to make arrests, as y'all can see here on the intercom.
What you're saying faces the scrutiny of historical facts subject to arrest, or they will use so lost. Because you're not using history as a guide and as a context for these current events that you're seeing.
Trying to keep my distance, as y'all see.
I'm going shopping. Let's go shopping.
So here come the police down the street. Protesters are in the street again. So here come the police.
So I gotta cut my live feed. I'll be back up in a minute. Keep me on posted.
The law and the order the police are about, with all their brutality and murder, is the law and order that enforces all this oppression and madness. That's a quote from the leader of the revolution, Bob Abenki. Get into the revolution. What does it say about a suspect when they unleash their pigs against the people, the righteous people? It is right to be out into the streets. It is right to rise up against oppression and all this madness.
Once again, to be clear, this is not an order to leave the state. This is an order to leave the immediate area.
It's guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
All right, so now they've said it's an unlawful assembly, and people are headed into the mall. So they flushed them out of the street and into the mall. Very confusing. That order was very confusing.
Leave the area. We're not telling you have to leave the sidewalk.
But leave the area.
The mall is locked.
Is the mall locked?
The mall is locked. They told us the mall was shut down. We were
So
here.
why are people having to leave the area?
I have no idea.
What made this assembly unlawful?
Nothing. Nothing. It's a protest in Clayton.
Oh, that's what made it unlawful.
That makes it unlawful.
Okay. It's a protest in Clayton, and that's what made it unlawful. That's St. Louis for you. They got the tanks out there too. Yeah, look at there.
Still got people out
Boy,
there,
the tank right over there. Oh, they love riding those little toys. They love jumping on top of those little toys, pointing assault rifles at people. Real good, St. Louis.
Still got people out there.
Isn't that something? They can't stop 300 people with assault rifles, tanks,
What's
and
up, Darnell?
5,000 police. You want to know why they can't stop these 300 people? Because they are wrong.
Day by the ACLU.
Because they are wrong.
What's up, Darnell?
What's up, Amir? Why can't they stop these 300 people? They got assault tanks out there, man.
I'm not sure. They just got served today by the ACLU.
They did.
It's the same thing.
What-
St. Louis County.
What was the order?
St. Louis County. About protesting. I'm not sure. I haven't read.
Why is Rossamano over here giving orders? Rossamano has no jurisdiction for St. Louis County. That's true. And he's the one giving all orders.
Stockley.
Well, Amir, back to the protest.
He said Jason Stockley.
Can you get Jason Stockley a message for me?
Yeah, what's the message?
Fuck you.
Oh.
Read that.
Okay. Ask me to read sign language. He's holding up the middle finger. Oh man. Okay, folks, so what we could witness right here, I can see this happening, is a kettle and a mass arrest. So pay attention. All the protesters are right here, and they're all in one little area. You see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and monitor where the police are and what they're doing. Here they are. Watch this. See what they're going to do.
So we just let down an entire mosque.
So as you can see, it's black, white.
Tell the city that we need. So no justice, 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 no justice.
All right, folks. I want to give you the big picture, so in case something goes down, you get to see the setup. All right, so what you see is people are just standing on the parking lot, and they're peacefully assembled. They're not breaking anything. They're peacefully assembling. There they are, right there. You see it, okay? That's a constitutional right. You can do that. There's nothing being broken, no violence or anything. Now I'm going to take you over here and I'm going to show you what oppression looks like. And if you don't understand black history, you need to research. Read some good books, watch the movie 13. Inform yourself so you're not just so quick to be misinformed and ignorant. But I want to show you the response to peaceful protest of black people. This is what happens when black people get together and peacefully assemble. Look at this. Because most of you all, if you're not black, don't understand. So I'm going to give you a bit of understanding. So all you have to do is look and think. Turn off the news. Think. Turn off your television sets and think. You need a little historical context to go with all of this too. So hopefully you've not been watching too much news. So look at this. I'm going to show you the response to a peaceful protest. Look at this assault vehicle over here. You see that? That Bearcat? Guys with assault rifles on top of the Bearcat.
What is?
Right over there. See him?
Oh, up there.
Yeah, that's a military vehicle that's used in Iraq
state. That's
and
what
Afghanistan.
They good for. A bunch of fucking racists.
I mean, look at this. And then people have the nerve to tell us that we should go home and we should surrender. Really? You're out of your mind. Look at these dudes. They look like, look at these dudes right here with these guns. Look at these guys. Am I too close? I'm on the sidewalk.
Back up on the parking lot, please.
On the parking lot? Okay.
That uniform, you just like me. Subject to murder. Execution style. By your body.
Look at that. Well, what threat do I represent? I represent no threat.
The beloved Clayton, oh God, you need your whole fucking
See if they ask him
police
again.
force for Clayton. This is not going to end. You guys are going to get a lot
What's
of
the difference
overtime.
between me and him?
You guys are going to have a lot of money to take European vacations when this is
Let's
all
watch.
done.
What's the difference?
You will
Tell
get
me
this
to get back.
overtime because it's not going to end.
To the parking lot.
This is not
He's
gonna
not on the
end.
parking lot. What's the difference between me and him?
And it is not your street.
None.
I'm a taxpayer. It's our street. And you guys are violating those rights. Where's the mayor at? Because she hears us.
Yeah.
You're going to get it fixed. Thank you. I appreciate that.
There's Laura. How you doing?
I appreciate your service.
Right on, man.
So Lieutenant Laura, can I ask you?
I got a busy one, man.
Gotta go. Okay. All right. He's gonna get this fixed. Okay.
We'll see right now.
Okay. We're trying to see what's getting fixed. All right. So you all are getting to see repression firsthand. If you've never seen it before, you need to come to St. Louis and just tune in. You know, just come to one of these protests. Those of you who think you know so much about what's going on. You don't have to say anything to anybody. Just come and watch. Hey, love you too, Kyle. What's up, buddy? I'm being safe. That guy almost arrested me for walking on the sidewalk with my phone and my video camera. I'm not shooting anything but this camera, dog. That's not a gun, that's a camera. That's all I'm shooting. I'm shooting this truth. Maybe that's what's so scary. When you shoot that truth, Kyle, it gets a little scary.
This is wrong. This is completely wrong. Where's the mayor? Where's the mayor? Make sure you do that collar right correctly. Pivot on that toe. Left, right, left. Your military left. You guys are an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment.
So, folks, as was done on Sunday, here comes the kettle, where they surround everybody without an exit. Now, here's the rules of the game. You're supposed to give the order to disperse and give people a way to exit. They're supposed to have a way to exit. First of all, you can't intimidate people out of protesting. Nobody's scared of these cops. Nobody. That Bearcat doesn't scare anybody. So I think they need to get that straight. We're not scared. So stop bringing your freaking military vehicles out here trying to scare us, because it's not working. I think they need to get that straight. We're not scared. It's not working. What's up, Salam? Let me get a shot of this right quick. You all excuse me. So Salam, you know I always talk to you. You got to break it down for me, dog. You got to tell me what it is. I think they're telling us to get on the sidewalk. Let's see if. Look at it. Yeah, come on over here, Salam, and tell us what it is. What's up, Tony?
Hey, what's up, yo?
Here, right here, brother, so they can see that military vehicle right behind you. Oh no, I want that military vehicle right there. Bring it on down.
Well, let me just say it like this. A success again. They are determined. One victory today. With the city of St. Louis, body cams will be worn by every officer in the city of St. Louis. And it's the automatic type of body cam. When they turn the alarm on, the siren on, it automatically kicks in. It goes into a cloud. They can't turn it off. Will be seen.
Okay.
But what's happening out here, this is Clayton. This is the St. Louis Galleria, one of the top areas where money flows.
Right.
And the protesters have said from the very beginning, no justice, no profit. This is an economic movement to boycott and to disrupt whatever is happening in this city, county. St. Louis will lose millions, if not billions of dollars before this is over with. They are serious, and they're using strategic maneuvers, and they're throwing the law enforcement off. They cannot beat people who are thinking. This time, they're not playing checkers, they are playing chess.
Dr. A.J.A. Salam.
It's about dead. I'm gonna end this live right now.
Not playing checkers, they are playing chess. Wow. And he's right. This is serious. Very serious.
Once again, guys, if you're just now tuning in, we are in front of the Galleria Mall in Richmond Heights.
30 years from now, our kids
the action that was earlier
some work on the table.
lawful assembly due to the fact they were impeding
That's
traffic.
what this is.
They have asked everyone to leave. If they do not
There are
leave,
more of
they
us
are
that
subject
believe
to
that
arrest.
what is happening is wrong.
And they also threaten to use
those who
chemical
believe it's
munitions,
not.
which
So we're gonna win.
Tear gas and pepper spray.
And we
pepper
don't care who
balls,
opposes
things like
it.
that. All of those together are something that easily disperses the crowd.
Because this is what America is supposed to be. Not some lofty dream. We're gonna make it real. We got the dream. Now it's time to make it
So
real.
give you guys a sense of the agencies on scene. There's Clayton,
and it's gonna
Richmond
get
Heights, state troopers from the Highway Patrol. There are also officers from St. Louis City and St. Louis County.
So hold on to your diapers,
are on scene as well
babies.
because of the fact that their bus lines are now being affected. Also, there
Looks
is a
like the
Metro
goal has
station
been
right up the
accomplished.
street
Those
there.
of you who are wondering what the goal was, to
That's
shut
also
this mall
probably
down.
being
That was the
affected
goal.
by
Disrupt
so
business.
Metro supervisor
interrupt
officials usually
the flow of
respond
capital.
in that white
To
car
make
right there when there's
everybody
any kind of
pay for the
disruption.
death of Jason
and,
LeVar
service.
Smith and the repressive state of Missouri and its racist practices. That goal has been accomplished today, and we are not done. Hope the police enjoy their little overtime, enjoy riding in their little Bearcat, riding their little toys, enjoy carrying the weapons that we bought.
Lord said that. I'm gonna take your word.
You're not intimidating
Came out
anybody,
here and they left.
and you're not going to win.
I never met him in my life.
He was a big person in Ferguson.
We got something bigger
So what the
than
man is talking about right now, the police have responded with a little more force, aggressive force. But there is a lieutenant on scene, Lower, who was you're familiar with Ferguson protests.
Our
was
streets.
One of the commanding officers in
These are
Ferguson,
our streets.
who often work with the protesters
They belong to all of
in order
us.
to get them to disperse on their own without the police having to do mass arrests or use tear gas or pepper spray. And the gentleman back there was explaining that
All right,
Officer
folks, I
Lower
think that may
did tell
be
him he was telling Lower that he felt
the
that
end of
this
this
response
action.
was a little too heavy-handed. And the lower
think
group of
everyone
them,
has
and then he
dispersed.
pulled some of the officers back.
Still some more people down on
which
the other
you
end.
see now is a kind of a different scene than what it was before.
But for the most part,
There are
everyone's
people leaving the
dispersed.
scene.
Something more
Which is
significant
what
comes
the police
back up.
asked. That was some
I will
tactics
bring
used
this
by
stream
Lord,
back
who
live.
worked with the protesters in Ferguson
If not,
to, oftentimes he
St.
gained a lot of
Louis
respect
Galleria
from
Mall
them because of
has
that.
been shut
One of the few
down.
officers
The
they were willing to
entire
talk to
mall
face to face and have them
shut down.
basically negotiate
Yeah, the mall
terms
is kinda
of
already
the
shut
protesters
down
leaving the
without
scene, which oftentimes was a scene to see.
Okay. Matthew Cooper.
Report the truth, please. You see it in their faces. They're a bunch of evil people. They're probably Christian. A bunch of them are just evil. They're looking for a reason to put a billy club outside one of these people's heads.
Emotions are high.
They're not here to protect us. They're here to silence us. That's what they're here for. And this is getting old. It's getting very old.
Who's streets?
And I believe in the fucking police. I believe in 90% of those guys are good guys. But I consider them bad when they keep their silence and allow this stuff to go on. I would leave the police force if I knew what was going on.
Staying safe. Thank you for all
I would
of you
leave
who
that
are watching.
force. I would not work for any employer who does illegal
Word to stay
activity.
safe. I'm doing the best
I
I
will
can.
remove myself from that. So they might be good cops, but they
We
allow
gonna
it,
get some
they condone
justice.
it. They're not that great about
But they ain't gonna have no fun.
Do you have any buddies who are on the force?
All right, guys. So the buses have left the scene of officers. They pulled down the street. I don't think they're going to go far, but they have, in a sense, you know, well, 2 buses have left. There's still some down the street. I don't believe they will go far. They are still blocking off the entrance to 170 down Galleria Parkway, right across the street from the Galleria Mall, if you're familiar with this area. Earlier, the protesters met at Shaw Park. Either patronize it still, but there are a lot of cars leaving the parking. There are a lot of cars leaving the parking lot, which can kind of tell you that the protesters are listening to the order to disperse the area. So the diversity of this crowd, can give you a sense of the widespread support from different communities in the city for the protest. This is technically day 6, but really only protest day 5, as they took the day off yesterday. They described it as a self-care day. The organizers asked people to take care of themselves yesterday and take the day off from actions, which is what majority did.
When I had my life before, I took care of my own.
The helicopters you guys hear in the sky are from local news media. It's Fox 2's helicopter, and as well as the St. Louis County and City helicopter that they share jointly, cost for. It's in the sky. So right now it's a much different scene than what it was a few moments ago, and also a even more different scene than what it was earlier, as the hundreds of protesters have now dwindled down to just over 100, sporadically standing around the area. and the over 100 officers have now dwindled down to a couple dozen who are also spread out throughout the Galleria Mall area. It appears that you will always get emotions out of people when it around this topic when it comes to this particular topic, as St. Louis has been inside this discussion on a very national level. National attention has been on St. Louis for the past 3 years now, ever since the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, August 9th, 3 years ago, 2014. And ever since then, St. Louis has been in the national, international spotlight for different reasons, including police shootings and just different problems in the area that have been highlighted. So if you're just now tuning in, guys, though there was an action here at the Galleria Mall that was planned by Jason Stockley protesters who were protesting the acquittal of Jason Stockley and the shooting death of Anthony Lamar Smith in 2011. He was charged with first-degree murder and requested a bench trial. And then after the trial, the judge rendered a not-guilty verdict a month later. On Friday, and since then the city has been kind of embroiled in protests all over the area, and several police departments, including the city police department, put their officers on 12-hour shifts in preparation for it. The city and the county and the state, led by Governor Bridings, have been preparing for mass protests and mass demonstrations across the city, and have in a sense prepared for it. It appeared there was a cross-agency preparation with the county, the state troopers, and the city all working together in crowd control efforts. Right now, we're in Clayton, which is, or Richmond Heights, which is in St. Louis County, not too far from Clayton, which is the county seat for St. Louis. Some sorts of a downtown area for St. Louis County. So they have now opened traffic back up on Brentwood Boulevard. Traffic is now moving. It appears that the majority of the protesters have left now. There are legal observers on scene, which are typically lawyers whose job is to just document everything they see. So you see them talking to their phones, you see them physically writing it down, or even taking photos and video to document from a legal perspective the protest and the police response to it.
Thanks for following us. This is Kim and the Matter signing off.
There wasn't protesters like us, so I think that's the media portrays that as protesters in general doing that, but it's just a select few.
And then they paint the whole movement.
Well, Matthew, that is a good point. The mall dynamic is changing across the country, or even across the world, where their mall revenue is declining. However, this is a very, very busy mall still. Still a profitable mall in the area. It's still a profitable mall in the area, where there's still stores here are doing very well. So the impact to their business probably still be felt. All right, guys, so I'm here with some of the protesters here. If you don't mind, do you have your first name, maybe?
Yeah, my name's Nicholas.
Nicholas. And Nicholas, so why did you come out today?
I mean, it's just, you know, it's the same shit, different day, you know. Because last week I read a story, it was 59 years ago, in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. It was a signlight article. It wasn't a main post, it didn't even have a picture with it, but it was of a man who had been arrested on a suspicion of robbery. And he had been handcuffed to the back of a police car, and he was killed by a police officer who said he feared for his life. And they found a flare gun on him. And that was 59 years ago, and we're here in St. Louis, and the same thing is happening today. You know, something's definitely got to change with the way that people are policed in this nation. More specifically in the city. Like, the city is, like, I'm someone who's traveled all over America and, you know, a few other places in the world, and it's, you know, it's one of the most backwards, racist places I've ever been in my entire life. It's systematic here like no other. Like, the people in North County, they're treated like, you know, an occupied people. You know, our St. Louis County Police Department is taking training sessions with Israeli police, and they're policed in the same way that Palestinians are policed in Palestine, and it can't stand anymore. Simple as that.
And so what gives you passion about this? Why care? Why do you care?
Well, coming from where I'm born and raised here in St. Louis, you know, I'm multicultural in a city that's polarized like no other. So I've always been pulled in one direction or another, and yeah, that's about it. You know, I can't stand to be pulled anymore. I suppose that's personally for me. Yeah.
So you feel a sense of you have an obligation to do this?
Well, I think everyone should have an obligation to do it. You know, if you're an upstanding person, you should have an obligation to stand up for people that are being done wrong. You know, all these people in the county here. You know, once people of color. What if people of color are gone? What if they're gone? And what if, you know, the people in power come for you next because you have something they want? That's less people to sit around and defend you. That's, you know, got to learn from our mistakes. You know.
What is your message, if there is one, for those that say protesting should not be happening around the vertigo or protesting period around this past weekend in period? What do you say to those who say protesting shouldn't go on?
Then they need to step out of the way or step out of their comfort zones. Those are the only two options they have at this point, really. You know, that we have to bring it to them because, you know, we live in a system where it's so easy to be ignorant because you don't see things. You're so disconnected here in Richmond Heights or in Creve Coeur or in Ladue. You're so disconnected from what is really going on. You have no reason to step outside into North City. Like, the reason the Del Mar Divide is the Del Mar Divide is because people don't have a reason to go over it. The people who are on the south side of the Del Mar Divide don't see what's on the north side because there's no reason to go over there. So we have to bring it to them. It's as simple as that. And the more we bring it to them, you know, truth will prevail.
And so, last question: what is your solution to the problem?
That's a big question, man. I don't have a solution at this point. I think in the system we live in, you've got to patronize black business. You know, black people have to take power back for themselves. You know, I don't know the answer. I don't know how to do that, but you know, we have to start. It reminds me of something that I saw, the grand jury decision night of Ferguson. There was a woman at the front lines right against the barricade right before they made the decision. She was screaming, God, she said, be smart with your black dollars. And that's all you got to do, really, you know? These people are always going to have the power if we keep giving them the money. That's where the power is in this. So stop giving them the money. You know, that's why they show up here at the mall. That's why they show up in the Central West End, you know, in the bourgeois neighborhoods, like, to cut off their money. That's the only way to do it, unfortunately.
Did you want to say anything else?
I mean, I'm awestruck at this. I'm awestruck at this. I have nothing to say really. Being out here gives me flashbacks of Ferguson, and apparently gives me flashbacks to the last 60 years, and let's go even further and say 450. And so it's got to end somewhere.
I have to ask a follow-up question, Noah. So you spent time in Ferguson. Do you see any difference in the St. Louis area from
For sure, there's a huge difference this time.
Can you
There's a huge difference this time. The people organizing the protests are more organized. We can walk through the Central West End and we're not getting unanimous like signals of hate from the people, and that some of them are coming out their windows with thumbs up, some of them are coming and joining us. You're seeing people coming from here in St. Louis. I went to high school in Oakville, which is a South County suburb, homogeneously white, homogeneously I'm not going to say homogeneously racist, but the people out there are very, very biased, and they're very, very racist, and but I've seen some people that I went to high school with showing up at these protests, and if anything is going to sell me that they're making progress, pulling people out of the woodwork on this, it is that. Seeing people from South County here in St. Louis come out.
I will say, spending time in Ferguson, there is a more diverse crowd. You notice that yourself?
I mean, the crowds are larger and they're more coming out, I think another big thing is like people like yourself, like breaking media bias, because like I said, people in suburbs here in the county here in St. Louis, they live in bubbles. They pay attention to your Fox, your St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Like, not to throw the Post-Dispatch, there are some good people working in the Post-Dispatch, but people need to be hooked on alternative media. But these are things like that people already know. I'm just spouting out things that other people are saying.
And do you see a difference in the area as far as from a government standpoint, from a local organized effort to stop some of the systematic racism in the city?
Within the system?
So that's just going on now. We have the court reform. We have which one of the issues in Ferguson. And we have police, response to certain things and how they choose to respond to it. Have you seen any difference in those areas?
I really couldn't speak to that. I don't know enough about it, to be completely honest. When Ferguson happened, I was 19 years old. I'm 23 now. I'm far from being a man still. So, the amount of time that I've allocated to look into these things is not enough to do it justice with an answer. It doesn't. The fact that we're out here again feels like there's no difference. Especially because it feels like we've taken a step back for the simple reason that, this case right here, it's cut and clean. The man say he was going to kill someone, he killed someone. The fact that we're here now, I think that denotes no progress at all, and if anything, a step backwards.
And I have you. So you're 23. You're 20 back when you were in school.
No. I've never been a student.
How was it for you being a? I assume you're mixed. So you're half black. How was it being a 23-year-old black man?
It was the first time. I come from a very whitewashed family, so it was the first time that I really recognized the fact that I'm black and that I need to stick up. And now there's no going back. There shouldn't have been. I was a very, very sheltered kid. I lived in a bubble. I stepped outside the bubble. I saw the way that it really is, and you can't go back once you see it. You'll drive yourself insane if you try to go back. If you know what's going on, if you know the way that it is, you have to stand up, because you'll never be able to sleep at night.
You want to say anything else?
I'm out of words, man. I'm at the point where I'm talking to keep my filth and frustration at bay, because, that's about it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Like you say, he had a lot of things to say about what was going on, and definitely was understood why he was out here to protest certain things. You get a sense of he was doing it because someone else was doing it. He had a lot of points about how the city and the county, the area as a whole, does have issues that are not hidden, but are actually very obvious to those that live here and even to those that come. And I think, from a personal opinion, I think one of our issues is being from the area. Personal opinion that it's a perception thing that we are often not willing, able to look at others' perspectives and see our lives as, from a standpoint of, it's different than someone else's, and that's okay. But that aside, that's some of the opinions of the ones out here who are protesting, who are still standing around. There's still maybe about 75 still on scene, different parts of the Galleria parking lot. I assume someone's still actually inside.
They said Eric Garner selling cigarettes.
But the action has
that doesn't deserve the death penalty if he was doing
the action. And actually, we want to go
Anthony Lamar Smith.
This
they said, "Oh, why are you defending this guy? He's a drug dealer." I don't care what he did. That doesn't deserve the death penalty. He has the right to live, to be arrested, to be tried, and convicted. If he is so guilty, the things that black bodies are dying for.
This is after they did say they were going to use
you didn't break into a scene in a murder or rape in progress, and you're fleeing this individual and
causing them to for one of another, either tear gas or pepper spray.
He was selling CDs.
And then
what happened to tasers? What happened to pepper spray? Just get right to the gun.
Having to do that.
There's got to be something else between death and what's going on right now, because this is not sustainable in the city, and you've got about a 48-49% youth population right now, and they're out there, they're heavily armed, and they're pissed, and they don't trust you, and they don't believe you, and I'm not going to tell them to trust you, because I don't trust you. I've had a half a century to be here, and I don't trust you. I don't trust you. The DOJ came in and said that there were 29 individual municipalities in the St. Louis metropolitan area that were guilty of racial profiling and basically making their budget off the backs of poor citizens via the traffic court system. Who's done anything about that? They're still holding, they're still stopping people and giving people bogus traffic tickets. So it doesn't matter. The Department of Justice is the highest legal body in the land. And they've come down and said there's systemic racism in these police departments. But yet, the police officers are still allowed to kill black people without any repercussion. I'm not sure at this point what to say, and I'm going to end it, but I just, you have to understand that something bad is going to happen. If there is not policies put in place in every police department in this city that says if a police officer shoots a citizen, that case will automatically be reviewed by a civilian. Now, I don't believe you can't police yourselves. Come on. That's like telling the band of criminals, we're going to let you guys out there and you guys police each other. You wouldn't do that. Why would we allow you to do that? Why do you think that we think that anything would be fair about that process? That's a slap in the face to tell us, we're going to investigate our own police. I've got police officers that are friends in St. Louis County and St. Louis City, and they've told me, if they step forward, being a minority officer, and they report some of the misconduct that they've seen on duty, that their fellow police officers will respond slower to their backup calls. That's their fear. These are men that are telling me this in tears, police officers, saying as a black man, I feel humiliated watching my partner beat someone. And I said, well, why didn't you do anything? Yeah, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? If my life's in danger on the street, in a uniform, that's the thin blue line. We have to address these things. We have to quit acting like these things don't exist. If the police department is not exempt from everything else that goes on in society. There's gay people in society, there's gay police officers. And if there's racists out here in our community, there's racists in the police force right now. As the lady said before, they've gotten so bold because our president said, hey, don't put their head in there, rough them up.
Oh, yes, most police have left the area. Give you
Freddie Gray, hog tied like an animal in the back of a paddy wagon and broke his neck. And nobody is responsible. You tell that man's family, if I took you and threw you in the back of something and broke your neck and I went to your family and they said, nobody's responsible for that, man. That's just unfortunate. We would never stand for white children
driving around from St. Louis City and county and Clayton, just patrolling the
It's not young Asian children, it's not young Arab children, it's not young, it's black and brown bodies. So we have to stop, and all of this that we're saying is irrelevant unless police are held to a higher standard than they're held to. I'm a veteran. These don't come from a mall kiosk. I earned these the old-fashioned way. So to have a police officer pull me over, take me out of my vehicle, take my belt and have me drop my pants to my ankles and reach his hand inside my underwear looking for crack.
Yeah, there were also no known arrests.
If I had my weapon that night, I'd be dead or that police officer would be dead. That's where I am. So I'm just telling you, unless we institute
police didn't leave. The protesters didn't
in the
leave.
police department to hold police officers accountable,
Threatened to
we're going to
use
have police
chemical
officers being
munitions.
assassinated. They say Michael Johnson's crazy. He shot the 5 police officers in Dallas.
the reason
How do you think we feel about the 179 black men that have been murdered in the last 3 years in this country? And no police officers went to jail. Nobody spent a day in jail for any of these murders. We've got to deal with this situation. Something's bad's going to happen. So I just don't want to see that. I love the city, but the city is racist. And until we get white folks to come out and say it's racist, it's going to take...
There was a protest
Is it going to take...
6 p.m. There were a couple hundred, several hundred, on scene
I'm passionate about this because I mentor 19
first
kids.
blocked the Galleria Mall.
And it makes a difference. I had 4 of those kids with me when those police officers did that to me. They did that to 2 9-year-olds, an 11-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
Down the street, and eventually we're walking towards Highway 64, which where they were met by dozens of.
They were shot.
Who were in riot gear, preventing them from walking.
Because what do I say to them?
I assume
how do I reverse
to prevent them from walking towards the
those kids. They don't even
the main
want to
protest actions in
these kids. They don't want to go to
country.
Tree Park.
Actually,
Tree
there was
Park, where it happened. The skate park over there.
And so that's
you have to answer to those kids. You're accountable to them.
lawful assembly.
And if you step back and
more
just
police
say,
arrived on scene.
the
The police threatened to arrest everyone if they did not leave the area. They also threatened to use chemical munitions, which is tear gas and pepper spray, pepper
we saw how
balls.
that turned out. I don't care what your job title is. His words should mean no more than mine in a court of law. Because these police officers go to court, lie, fabricate evidence, plant things. We've seen these things, so why is it a standard that the police officers get the bill dispersed in a court of law? Why is that? Until we change those laws and those standards, nothing will ever change because the police officers say we can kill a black person and we will not
police response.
be prosecuted.
One of the protesters talked to the army to one of the lieutenants Lord became confident in servicing with the protesters because of his he actually negotiated with the response of the police, giving the protesters time, giving the organizers to get some of the protesters time to leave the area or use different tactics to protest. And he gained some respect from some in for his regard in that aspect. This told Lord that he had disappointed in that the police were responding.
Make a firm decision. Don't let her give us O2. We don't
Agreed with him, and he called some of his officers back to the scene, which is where you see the scene.
Otherwise, this is letting all y'all's face and wasting all of y'all's time. Also, I have 3 things I would like for you all to do as far as looking forward to be police chief. We need somebody who's going to unify the unions. It makes no sense that we have a white police union and a black police union in the city. We also need somebody who's going to reward whistleblowing within the police force instead of retaliation.
Pretty typical of after an action ended, there are a few that stay around, just either just having conversing or having conversations or just observing what's going on, which oftentimes leads them to
we also want you all to dissect the work history of whoever that you all are going to be choosing. We don't want somebody who's on flip-flops, who's working almost every police force and every municipality in this county or in other counties.
We asked for certain things because that's how we got asked for something. I'm with you. That's most definitely. Everybody got paperwork for a whole year. I appreciate it. go, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
So I'm on Facebook Live. I'm here with Mama Cat, and she's affectionately called by.
I echo what everyone said.
Don't see here. Mama Cat, what happened today? Give me what happened today.
You know, today's action. You know, no justice, no profit. You know, so this is just a series of sustained actions that gonna disrupt their commerce. No more business per usual. You kill our dog, I kill your cat. That's how that goes. You take our lives, we take your money. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that simple. So, here they come. We got our voices. We marching, we chanting. Here you come with billy clubs and shields. Here you come with armored vehicles. Why you got to do all that? All you got to do is stop killing us. So,
I think that we should have a police chief and we should have police officers who see themselves as part of
killing us. How do you feel about this? I mean, we all will spend time in Ferguson and many months in Ferguson. How do you feel about this time around? How do you feel about kind of protest? I mean, we all will spend time in Ferguson this time around. Many months.
Well, I think we took lessons learned from past protests. When we first responded to Ferguson, it was organic. We was angry. We came out. Well, I think we took lessons learned from past protests. When we first responded to Ferguson, it was organic. How to organize a little bit better. I think we took lessons learned from past. When we first responded to Ferguson, how to organize a little bit better. I think we took lessons learned from past. When we first responded to Ferguson, it's killing us. And if we don't get no justice, they don't get no profit. We're going anyway, so they know how to work. I don't get no time like the further they got. And if we don't get no justice, they don't get no profit. We're going anyway, so they know how to work. I don't get no time like the further they got. And if we don't get no justice, they don't get no profit. We're going anyway, so they know how to work. I don't get no time like gift and their talent. I can't accept it and not be willing to give. And what can I do to make sure that everybody's right? War won when the soldiers was hungry. So I feed the soldiers. Feed the body, you feed the spirit. So, this is me. I'm a nurturer by nature. And this is what I do.
Earlier, there was an Army veteran. You know Lord, right? Officer Lord?
Yes.
There was an Army veteran that talked to Lord about he was just completely disappointed and unsatisfied with the police response to this particular action. Step back and Lord agreed with him, and he had the officer. In this particular case, Lord's response. Do you remember any of his tactics he used in Ferguson? Or?
I think that Lord learned lessons as well. I think he underwent some training. It appears that he did undergo some training since Ferguson, but it was during that time that he was learning. He got some serious OJT, on the job training, right? So now he can look at things a little bit more clearly and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, man, you're right. My bad. I got this. And he did what he was supposed to do. He know now. Dealing with us, expressing our First Amendment rights. And so he know that he have to protect our rights. Something his underlings don't know.
And a few more questions. If you can have a conversation personally to those in this area and across the country who say this particular kind and style of protest, when it comes to regards to police brutality and citizens being killed by police, they say if you are doing the crime, you shouldn't be doing the crime, and police have the right to kill. What do you say to those people who if you were to talk to them personally, talk to them directly?
Okay, personally, I just want you all to know this. Those of you who saying if you only comply, you don't have to live in my skin. I live in America with the color of my skin, my melanin is my weapon. I don't get to live and say, hey, I could do another day. I'm a mother, have to worry about every time my husband, sons, grandsons, and great-grandson is not in my presence. I have to worry about if they're coming back alive. So when you get yourself in this position, then you can talk to me about it, because until then, you can't tell me that I can't stand up for mine, because I'm going to do that. Because I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees any day of the week. And I'm going to protect mine. I'm going to stand up against injustice. Martin Luther King said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And this is real. I am my brothers and sisters' keeper. Yes, I know that all lives matter, but until mine matter as much as yours, I feel I have to keep on being specific. And I'm going to do that.
Do you want to say anything else?
I don't have anything else that need to be said. I think I could drop the mic. Pow. That's just the truth. You good?
So yeah, guys, there was an interview with Mama Cat. A lot of people that she's known, if you're familiar with the protests. She fed a lot of the. She just fed everybody in Ferguson. She saw a need, and she thought that she can fill that need with her skills in cooking.
What? I already made. I don't like that. I had that, but I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So it looks like the things have returned back to a typical Wednesday night here at the Galleria Mall. There's still people still on the scene, but they're just observing and waiting and conversing.
It brings unity in the community.
All right, so a few more interviews, guys. So we're here. You don't have to have your first name.
Aideen.
Aideen. Aideen. So you're here today. You're here for the action. Can you tell the viewers what happened today?
Well, I got here late, just to let you know. But I saw a lot of cop presence, and there wasn't a lot of protester presence. So there was a very big show of force by whatever police departments there were here today, but I think there was also National Guard too, so it's obvious that they're trying to cover up something, or they don't want us to be out here. So
so you brought a good point. Why are you out here?
Because I think it's the right thing to do. Because I mean, we say that everyone's equal and stuff, but it's not really enacted in our country, and I feel like I want to help. That's why I'm here.
And you feel?
And also, I've been personally brutalized by the police during previous protests, and
you mind recounting some of those experiences without, I hate to bring back.
Yeah. Well, I was a police guy threw me on the ground, and he's just they're very rough, and they don't.
They made a huddle around her and punched her in the stomach.
I watched it like a lot.
Yeah, they're not nice. And they're especially like, you would think that they wouldn't do that to me because I'm white, but that illusion was gone after that. So yeah, that's why I'm here, and also because, I mean, I actually have black friends, so I don't actually have black friends. I have actual friends who happen to be people of color, so that's why I'm here.
Why is it important for white Americans to join causes like this?
I think because white supremacy is a white person issue. That's why. I just think, like, to fight white supremacy, white people need to be there too, along with black people. Because it shouldn't be just their fight. I mean, it's not their fault. It's our fault.
Would you want anything else?
No thanks. I'm all good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay safe.
What's your name?
I'm Bradley.
Bradley. Nice to meet you. Aideen.
Great to meet you, Aideen. All right.
How you been?
So this action, guys, actually took place after there was a meeting at the City Hall, St. Louis City Hall, where a special committee passed they're going to get body cameras from every officer, which are going to be free for the first year for every officer in St. Louis City, which is a pretty big deal.
Because I was fucked.
How you doing? How you doing? Do you mind if I interview you for a second? Can I interview you?
My name is H.A. Goodman. I'm an author called...
So what's your name, first of all? Why are you out here today?
Say Milo. Say I'm out here because I'm black and brown just like my mommy and her people. And if their life matter, my life matter too. I'm not white.
Alright, so yeah. This is all that remains on scene, guys. Earlier there were a few hundred.
Yes,
Couple
no.
dozen.
Not all the way. Not all the way.
A lot of the press have left the scene. There are some legal observers. Anyway, guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm going to end it pretty soon, but as you can see the action here. Just to recap, there was an action here planned in Clayton. The protesters met at Shaw Park. There are also police officers there as well. Then from there, they got into their cars, drove about a mile to the Galleria Mall, where they planned on shutting it down. They stood in front of the doors, a couple hundred of them. Eventually marched down the Galleria Parkway that way. Eventually making upon the on Galleria Parkway, shutting down Galleria Parkway at Brentwood. Eventually marching down Brentwood towards the Highway 64, where they were met by state troopers and St. Louis County police officers who attempted to block their way from going further. More officers arrived up. They were successful in blocking the protesters from walking towards the highway. Whether they were going to walk on the highway or not, that is not known. But the police were doing that as a precautionary measure, just to prevent, in a sense, to prevent them from walking towards the highway. After several minutes, the protesters began to walk the opposite direction, eventually walking back towards Galleria Parkway, towards the 170 entrance off of Galleria Parkway in Brentwood, if you're familiar with the Mangianos, and across the street from the Crate and Barrel. There, the police also blocked their ability to walk towards Highway 170. Then they walked across this First Community Bank parking lot, where they eventually ended up right here. That is where the police declared it an unlawful assembly due to them impeding the flow of traffic. Then threatened the use of, if you did not leave the area, you are subject to arrest, as well as the use of chemical munitions, which in that case is usually pepper spray and tear gas. And then more officers arrived on scene from the St. Louis City and as well as St. Louis County, and state troopers in Brentwood and Richmond Heights were also, not Brentwood, but Clayton and Richmond Heights were all on scene. From there, the organizers eventually asked everyone to leave on their own will, and several moments later, this is the scene now here. A much different scene here on here in front of the different scene in front of the Galleria Mall. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I'm going to end it.